So I already played around with Google Earth a tiny bit. Google Earth VR, rather. And there's tons of potential, but it's far from perfect. The main thing being the asset streaming. As you can tell, even right now, you can see the higher LOD textures loading, which I get it. Technically, this is an amazing piece of software, but if they could just push out the highest LOD stuff and start you in deep, or have like an expanding kind of black area, even if it was just a cinema mode, I think that would be really cool. So supposedly you can grab the sun and change the time of day. I haven't tried that yet. So right now I feel sideways right now. Let me do this. That was actually kind of made me not sick, but I didn't want to walk because. Okay, so you can see this is the path of the sun. So the shadows, if we look, okay, so we can't do it in this mode. Yeah, so the shadows obviously don't change. It's not that crazy, but it is, one of the coolest parts about this app actually is the nighttime sky, because you never see it in the city, and Google has captured it so well, and it seems pretty accurately, and it looks pretty good on the Vive. It's not too black where you get much glare. It's actually pretty surprising. So let's go to someplace a bit more substantial. Let's go to Google. They should have their place mapped out pretty high fidelity, you would think. So here we are. You see the asset loading. One thing that's confusing is this says fly. So basically, if I hold it horizontal, that's what I do. I fly, and it goes around like this. But if you go up or down, it's really a scale, which is really confusing, right? Because I just went down, and now I'm a smaller giant. Now I'm a freaking huge giant, right? Can go on my floor. Oh, those buildings are small. Now the building is larger than I am. So as you can tell, the human size is very there's a reason why it's probably disabled at first. So let's do the default settings. Okay, so it stops you here, which is probably, they should probably just do that and just stop you here. So now you notice the vignette, and I think the vignette did a fucking terrible job on it. It should be more black. Okay, so I guess the reason not to make it black, I would make it dark gray. And sure, I don't think a vignette this size would give you much of a halo. Like a lens flare, I guess God rays type effect. This vignette, which kind of has this grid system, it's very engineered, designy, which I do say in a negative connotation. And then, okay, so now it's gone. I'm going to get rid of it for good because it's garbage. It would be much more cinematic if it were black or dark gray. So, okay, so the drag, I actually I do like that. So, drag. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I like this being the farthest you can go in. Anymore, the scale, I mean the models just aren't there. So Google scanned them pretty well. This was on one of the tours, the Devil's Tower. Let's take a look. It's actually really cool. So you can see the assets loading. And they have these pre-made tours here. I'll show you guys real quick. And okay, so this UI it's okay. It's relatively intuitive for someone who's used to computer, but it's not a super compelling VR UI. Laser pointers. It's Anyway, so with these tours, what it should do is it should buffer all of the map information in advance because it knows, but it doesn't. And you can see here it's still, I just started looking over here, so maybe it does use where I look as a place, or as a way to determine which assets to stream. How close I get. So if I zoom out, it's actually pretty amazing. Like at this scale, once you can see some I don't know if you would call it stitching, but you can see the textures kind of slowly loading the different LODs. And that's fine. It's for, like, right here as we do this. It's pretty forgivable, but this is really just Google Earth in VR. It's I wish it were more compelling. I'm not going to pretend it's getting my mind blown by it. Yeah, like room scale, Google Earth is really cool, but the point of VR is immersion, the presence. You're not going to have necessarily presence in God mode, but the whole loading the assets thing just takes away from any cinematic part that you would experience. And just really, I'm not trying to be a party pooper, just keeping it real. Let's go here. So this is iconic in some photos, Monument Valley. See the asset streaming. A loading screen would be annoying, but I think they could have, even if it's off at first, because they have comfort mode, you could have cinematic mode, and you got different options. If you really want to feel sick, do the drag, have yaw turning. How about that? Yeah, no thanks. So yeah, like I said, the fly is really scale. And the detail on these rocks is actually pretty amazing. They did a good job with Monument Valley. Let's see which part of Arizona this is. I forget, even though Arizona is very near and dear to my heart. So what you actually do to get a better idea is you do the Earth is on the wall mode. You feel like you're standing on nothing. See, now is where you give me a fucking grid, Google. See, I feel like I'm standing on nothing now. You give me a grid when I have a vignette, but you don't give me a grid and I feel like I should be falling in orbit. Google, you guys are cute sometimes. So let me go back here and then let me do wall mode. So, oh look, so Monument Valley. Yeah, I'm not saying I feel sick, but it feels strange zooming out like this. Like, really. Really feels much more comforting to have a ground and room scale. I don't know. Let me try it sitting real quick. Okay, so that's my kitchen. On my stool. Alright, wall mode, here we go. Yeah, this feels better. It honestly does. So I could see why this is in here. But yeah, standing it actually a little wobbly legged. A friend that went to the Dominican Republic recently. I doubt they have much scan there though. Losing a little bit of faith. Let's check this out. Actually, this is just like CG. Well, it's all CG, but oh, you operated it yourself. I thought that was a tour. My mistake. Let's do deserts. So the tours are interesting. Like I said, it should load the assets first. So let me stand. It does this all floor mode. I don't know what they like to call it. So ultimately, photogrammetry is still this is cool. Standing in a canyon feels awesome. They should really load those LODs though. The music is a nice touch. And the time of day stuff is really sexy actually. Burning Man, brah. So I have mixed feelings about this app. It's also crashed after about being in it for half an hour. It's crashed every time. So I think I'm done with it for now. But hopefully you guys got the gist of what they will hopefully improve upon. Don't expect to have your mind blown if you've played with Google Earth before, but it's awesome that it's finally in VR. They just need like a YouTube app in VR, because I'd probably spend more time in that, to be honest.